Alright guys, so today we are going to be talking about should you guys summon for Penelope or not. So given how tank usually functions, they're definitely more used in arena purposes, maybe on your offensive side or your defensive line or whatnot. So what makes this a outstanding tank compared to, let's say, the likes of Concede, DO, or some of the other one. I think there's just a really clear picture of what, how good this unit is within the Transcendent skill and then the skill 1. So I'm not really gonna talk too much about the other, general stuff about the unit because I don't think it warrants that much. There's just not a lot of, there's not really a need to talk about them in a way. So being a tank, I guess you can kind of call it the HP is just where it needs to be. The resistance for the reduce for both the projectile and the beam is actually relatively decent as well, and the defensive stat right there as well. But obviously these do change as we do increase the level, so most of the time it's not really necessary to even look at them anymore because you just can't remember what is like the base stat from this one to that one. So I think what makes this a relatively better tank than some of the other things is if you combine the level 5 of the transcendent skill and then the level 1 of the skill 1, you have over 110% guard rate. So essentially when your guard is activated, for example, you virtually take, I don't know, like something around maybe the double digit or even a single digit damage. So that means this is a relatively reliable tank because if you are always getting that off, like if you are always guarding for it per se, yeah, you're not dying at all. But the other negative that they are kind of building in is you are getting a decreased guard rate whenever you take hits. So it maxes out at 100%. So worst case situation, you are gonna see this unit dust itself having only 10% guard rate, and obviously that's not good enough. But when we combine the likes of the pilot, lane aim, which also offer an extra 24% guard rate, this innately makes this unit a whole lot better because having a 34% at the lowest possible point could still allow you to perform really well as far as just tanking wise. So that's why I feel like Penelope was just leagues better than the likes of Cassie, for example, or just some of the other one, like even the O, right? The O could actually get messed up if you don't evade, while this one, if you just guard, you're good. And even at the lowest point possible, it should still be a relatively good. So I think the best thing that they did for even the negative aspect of thing is only for 10 seconds. So let's say you are fighting multiple enemy that has a low hit count. So if they have like, I don't know, like a few hits within their weaponry, that means within that 10-second window, they shouldn't be able to rack up to 20 times hit. So most case situation you should be fine, but I mean unless you are under like severe attacks, then I mean like you probably messed up your lineup to begin with. So I think overall getting to that 20% that 20 times stack is definitely under a severe situation. But if not, like, yeah, this is a really really reliable tank. So that's why if you guys have been saving for Penelope, like this is gonna be where this unit is gonna shine for sure. So when we do talk about the other things, like for skill 2, you are getting that restore EX skill gauge right there. So that's actually pretty good on taking damage. So you guys know how busted that is, so I don't really need to explain more than that. And then you are getting accuracy as well up to 25%. So just to make sure that you're always letting it hit, so you can always get that EX skill gauge back. And then on the EX skill, there's not much going on. You have increased beam damage and then increased defense as well. So that's actually a fairly nice combo right there. So I believe at EX skill level 1, it starts out somewhere maybe around the 40 percentile. So it's obviously not max out 60%. And then with the Transcendent skill, you are getting increased max HP, more beam damage increase, and then restore EX skill gauge by 50 when battle starts. So yeah, I think overall this is overall a really solid tank. It has elements that will make you say this is a reliable tank. It's gonna do what it needs to do, and it's not just gonna be another one of those tanks that has a lot of like damage kit built into it, which obviously is not something that we need for a tank. So I like the fact that this is staying true to being just a defensive lineup. So that's obviously pretty good. And the best thing for this one is that in terms of all the what is it, the damage type of all the weapon is gonna be for beam. So you might say, well, it does have, you know, Mr. Funnels and all that stuff, so why did we have that, you know? But I think this is definitely a more, you can say just a better design in a way, because you don't have to worry about, you know, using module that, you know, fixate to one damage type over the other. So at least you are free to use beam damage, so that's pretty nice with there. And all of them are ranged, just to add on top of that. So yeah, Penelope, you know, pretty strong with everything with consideration. So yeah. Then when we do take a look at Lang Aim, he's pretty good. I think he's actually another good substitute for a lot of the, you know, generally seen tank, like your full armor Gundam Thunderbolt, maybe even for your GPO2, because things like armor type, white mobile suit, Gundam type, like those are going to be applicable to a lot of those category. And then maybe if they happen to have rival units, you know, high firepower, those are gonna be adding just extra cherry on top, because most of those, like in terms of what Lang Aim does, not only does he provide range sense, he also provide up to 80% resistance stacking from two separately, or so 40 on one and then 40 on the other one, so adding up to 80 in total. That's huge, because you guys know having resistance on the pilot actually makes the unit tank, you know, overall better. So with the fact that this, you know, pilot specifically has those two K-Detors, Gundam type and white mobile suit, that speaks a lot, right? And then the other things like, you know, map D uprising, rival unit raising for both combined up to 24% guard rate. That is huge. Again, that's really big, but they are definitely really niche category. But I mean, at least it's offered there, so it's still a good sign right there. High firepower, increasing range sense, and then Monosky flights, also increasing range sense, and yeah, that's pretty nice. And then on taking damage, for the armor portion, you are stacking damage as well. And then for just red mobiles in general, you're getting increased accuracy as well. So in theory, when you have Lang Aim, when you have the unit itself with the transcendent skill, you're getting up to, well, not the transcendent skill, with the skill 2, you're getting, could get up to a 50% accuracy up as well. So that's good. All right, that's really good. So that alleviates your need to actually do a lot of investing into the unit enhancement for accuracy. So that's definitely something to speak about. So overall, in terms of Penelope and then Lang Aim, they're actually really phenomenal, I would definitely have to say. They're definitely what a tank needs to be, as for both the description on the pilots wise and the skills, and the transcendent skill, definitely really solid. So with that said, that is going to be pretty much it. So if you guys are planning to summon for it, because you guys are lacking any good tanks, definitely do go for it. I feel like the likes of, you know, Penelope, or excuse me, the Cassid, maybe the O, they probably aren't going to be that good, you know, sometime down the road. So if you guys are planning to, you know, go for just a, you know, better tank at the moment, definitely do go for that. But other than that, that is going to be pretty much it, and I'll be catching you guys on the next one.